Go.
Hey, welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast. This is episode number 37, and we are going to be bringing you a variety of things today. It's the rock and roll variety show. We'll go with that one today.
I like that.
um, First off, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about. I was in Nashville this past week, Tennessee, at a conference, and got to spend a little time with our buddy Billy Hardaway and a Gibson USA Guitar Factory tour, which I got to take my family on, which was phenomenal. It was incredible to see a block of wood turned into a Les Paul. And they do everything there. Everything. The only thing they don't do at that factory is, I think, purchase the strings. Everything else is made in the factory. Fretboards come in a block and they're all cut down. The inlays are all inlaid in the shop. They make their own pickups. The pickups are waxed in the shop. I mean, it was crazy. Very cool for us to see that. If you ever get a chance to do a tour like that, please go, because it was really, really, really neat. Just want to shout out to him. Thank you very much for helping us with that, and lasting memory for our family. So it was really cool. So thanks, I appreciate it very much.
A couple questions on that tour, real quick, because I did the one down in Memphis at the Memphis plant to make the 335s. The only other guitar they make down there is the white Les Paul. Did they mention anything about that there? Because
No, they make the Les Pauls. They make the we saw a couple of Flying V's hanging there.
The SGs down there too. Most of the hard body stuff.
They make the SGs, and we saw a Firebird or Thunderbird. Oh my gosh, calling it Dennis. Oh, never mind.
What about the Gibson Explorer?
I think all the hard bodies are made down there. I think.
Yeah,
the 335s and everything.
Noah said it was a Thunderbird or a Firebird, and I just can't remember which one.
Probably a Firebird.
So,
do they?
James Hetfield, what does he play? Do you know?
He plays a variety of
okay.
guitars.
All right.
Also, too, did they take you in there with that thing? What was it? It was a plecking machine. Did they mention anything about that? The computer then now it puts the frets on and it's all computerized where it sets it up basically.
Yes.
When it comes out.
Yep.
Because that's the one thing that Gibson has. A lot of these plants don't have. It's supposedly you can actually send a guitar in that you already own, and they can put it in this machine, and it's called plecking, I believe, is what their trademark name is. But it computerized, laser, whatever, fixes everything to where it's completely.
Yes, they put a guitar in a machine. And they tell it they can even tell it how they want it tuned, and it will set the frets to where that's what it.
Wow,
that's what it does. It's crazy.
Yeah, next time I'm out in Nashville, I'd like to.
It was really neat. Really, yeah, pretty cool.
So you went to the main.
Got to wear closed-toed shoes though.
Okay. Did you? So you just went to the main factory. You didn't go to the custom shop.
No, we didn't go to the custom shop.
Okay. I know it's not too far from there, but I think that's where Billy actually works at the custom shop, right?
No, he worked in the shop we were in.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he went to finishing.
Oh, I know what it was. He went to the custom shop when they got flooded out. Did they talk about the flood down there? They talk about
No, they probably did get flooded because they were kind of down in this little valley.
Oh, they did. I mean, they actually flooded that place out. Then Billy said when I talked to him a long time ago, he got moved to the custom shop, which was up the hill from there.
Yeah.
And I think they were closed down for about 3 months. Trying
I can see that. But it's cool though, going through that thing and seeing the guitars hanging from the ceiling in different. The body might be in one color, and the the neck is still not attached or partially attached or whatever, and then they're hanging and they don't have enough floor space for them because they just have racks of them, so they hang and they dry while they're hanging, running on this track above you, and it's cool.
I was amazed when, like I said, when Memphis down there, the actual hand working that still goes into those things. You think now that it'd be all basically machine and robot.
Oh no, they're all
like the 335s. They were still, because it's a laminate wood that's made in a semi-hollow situation, and they still wrap it with the cloth, and tie them up, and then they have to dry for so long.
Yep.
And it was interesting too. They put the binding, around the edge of the thing, then they paint over it. And you got these girls in the detail shop, these X-Acto knives, probably the same thing you saw.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're doing work that's incredible, and I guess because they've been doing it so long, but they're sitting there and they're cutting that
They can
stuff.
take one swipe and just
and it's
take
gone.
the whole thing off. Yeah, that was Lisa's favorite part. She goes, "That's the coolest thing."
Yeah, but those women like going after about 10 years of this 8 hours a day going, oh my God, But yeah, it is. It's if anybody ever gets a chance, I don't know. The one down there, they don't have planned tours down there, do they? Or they have it down there?
You have to set it up. It has to be set up ahead of time. You can't just go in there at like 1:00 and.
Okay, because Memphis, you can go down to their plant down there and walk in, and then they got timed tours throughout the day.
Oh no, it's all no.
And you can go through it, but they'll run you, like you said, run you through from the cut, basically looking at the wood to the vinyl end when the guys, doing the final, stuff on it. They do everything there in-house.
It was cool. It was really, really cool.
Well, neat. Well, thanks,
Neat
Bill.
thing to do. All right, so let's do a little round. Anybody else have any music news?
Let's see, I had something, but we want to thank Tommy Paris for being on last week. That was a fun interview. Enjoyed talking to him. There was a couple of things that I think there's going to be an opportunity. I don't know if you're going to, Bill, but I don't know if your schedule works. But they're going to. I think the Count 77 is going to be playing over at Marion, Illinois. So we're going to try to go over and catch that show and actually meet Tommy and talk to him over there. So that'd be pretty cool. And
really depends on the football stuff going on.
Right.
We'll have to see. All right, so let's do a little round of Crank It or Yank It.
Hey, yeah!
Yeah, there should be theme music for that. I don't know what it would sound like for Crank It or Yank It.
America's newest game show. America's newest game show, Yank It or Crank It, with your host, Bill Algie.
Yeah. I'll host the show. I don't want to participate in the show, but I'll host the show.
What is that buzzing noise? Do you hear that?
That's our air conditioner. It's right outside the window.
Oh.
It's Darth Vader.
It's right. Sounds like somebody's getting shocked.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I thought it was a vacuum cleaner.
That would suck.
That would suck.
All right. Here you go. First song, Yank It or Crank It. Alda Nova's Fantasy.
Crank It.
All right. America's Sister Golden Hair.
Crank.
I
play that one on the acoustic guitar.
Cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is there 12 on the amp. Bad Companies Can't Get Enough of Your Love.
I'll
yank it because I get tired of it. It's old.
Too many times.
Yeah.
Too many times. That's cool.
But you need it. What was your thing? You didn't. I know you said you liked it. So.
Yeah, I just love that song. It's just the beat of that song in the beginning. I really like it. I
think Bill picked all the songs he would crank.
No, not necessarily. Was I supposed to answer?
Yeah,
that would be helpful.
Sorry. Okay. Sister Golden Hair is kind of a thing for me, but the other ones I would crank. All right. Okay. This is definitely a crank for me. Summer '69 by Bryan Adams.
Oh, definitely.
Crank it.
All right.
Crank it.
Okay. Here's a curveball. A Thing Called Love by The Darkness.
I haven't heard that in a long time, so I would probably still crank it.
When it first came out, I bought the album just because of that song. But I'm like Alan, I haven't heard it for a long time. I'd probably crank it, but I don't know. After hearing it a couple more times, I might.
Well, the last time I heard the song was when they performed it at Rocklahoma. I haven't been there in 3 or 4 years. So,
but I would crank it. I always liked that song.
And I bought it too, and
I said there's another song on the album called Blue. Was it Black Shuck?
And then I have Lawnmower. Here's a Lawnmower.
Yell out the window, go, "Hey, I'm trying to do a podcast in here."
No, this is where you go out there and yell, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah, get the hell off my lawn.
This is what we try to do, doing a podcast at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning.
On a Saturday morning, that's what you get, right? All right. Disturbed, Down with the Sickness.
I yank that thing as fast as I can.
Yank.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not a big Disturbed fan. Honestly, the only thing I've ever liked from them, and I can kind of stand it, is that new song, Sound of Silence.
You're off the podcast.
I love that song.
You're off the podcast too.
I like the Sound of Silence is fine, but down to
the thing I don't like about Disturbed is that lead singer and that song, that grunt thing he always does and puts into every song.
Dang, Bill, it sounded like you were trying to poop.
Bill,
or Dennis.
I blame Bill. That's
all right.
I think it was Bill.
Hot Blooded by Foreigner.
Crank it.
Crank it hard. Yeah.
Crank it. Fool in the Rain by Led Zeppelin.
I would still crank that one.
Oh man, I'd probably yank it, turn to another channel. I'm really burnt on Zeppelin. I really am.
Burned on Led Zeppelin?
I am. I'm honestly, I'm just burnt on Led Zeppelin. I
like that song. I don't listen to something I don't listen to very much.
Yeah.
All right. Pat Benatar, Hell's for Children.
Oh, crank it to the roof. Oh, I love that. That's a great song too.
All right, I picked all Crank It songs apparently.
Yeah, that live song version of that is just Life from Earth or whatever that album that song is. It gives me a chill sometimes. I mean, when she nails that song.
All right, Rat, Round and Round.
Crank it.
Crank it. Yeah. Really?
A little tired of it.
Oh, speaking of Rat, have you been watching the
the
drama between?
Let's talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
All right. My favorite song on the Greatest Hits album though is Shame, Shame, Shame. I've never seen them play in concert, but I like that song.
I can take that out of the Cellar album and just put it on.
Yeah, it's a good album.
That's one of those ones. It's almost every song
on repeat.
Exactly, it's good.
All right, the Stones, Honky Tonk Women.
I still crank that one.
I'd probably yank it.
All right, I'd crank that one too. I think you're right. I think I picked most of those songs that I liked. I don't like. All right, and my last song I have is a song that I crank every time it's on, which is Saliva's Click Click Boom.
Burnt. I'd yank it.
I'll probably yank it too.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
There you have it.
And a lot of these songs are, it's not the fact that they're bad songs. It's just the fact that, man, I've just heard that song way too much.
All right. We'll have to try to find some more obscure songs. I thought Aldo Nova was kind of obscure. You haven't heard that for a while.
I hear that all the time.
You do?
It's on Spotify.
It's on one of my, I got
it covered by the Foo?
No, I got a couple of playlists that I listen to on my Spotify.
Well, that's the problem.
But there's like 800 songs on here, but it always seems to, it's like on every list that I got, it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, I hear that one on Hair Nation a lot too. On Sirius
and they do on Sirius, they'll play that on a lot too. So
I didn't know that.
It gets a fairly good rotation, and it's a good song.
Yeah. But, all right, so let's see. Back to the Rat conversation. Let's have a little more conversation about the Rat.
I haven't got to real. I've seen the headlines for that, but I haven't read deep. But I could just tell.
Well, I think it started with
it's a shit story.
Well, I'm not sure where exactly it started, but I know that Bobby Blotzer's come out and made a comment that the lead singer of his Rat is better than Stephen Pearcy.
Well, where it started out was there is a picture. I guess all of the guys in Rat, except for Bobby Blotzer, were in the same place at the same time, and they took a picture of all of them, and they're hinting at a Blotzerless Rat reunion. I mean, Juan Crocier, how do you pronounce his last name?
Yeah.
The bass player was there. Warren DeMartini was there. Steve Pearcy and Carlos Cavosa. They were all there in the picture, and they were dropping hints that they're going to do something without Bobby. And that's when Bobby come in with the "my singer is better than your singer."
Well, there you go.
But here again, you have your singer is Rat.
Well,
whether people like it or not, Steve Pearcy is Rat.
Right.
Yeah, and that was I responded. Somebody posted something on it.
I saw that.
And I responded. Well, I took it down because after I read it, it didn't make any sense. It was a little incoherent because I did it. But
were you afraid I was going to grammar Nazi you?
Oh, it totally should have been grammar Nazi because it was horrible. When I went back and read it, I'm like, what the heck? But I was mad when I wrote it. I'm like, come on. You can't – there's no way you can tell somebody that we're going to replace – I'm the drummer, and we're going to put a new guy out on the front, and we're going to call it the same band, and it's going to be the same band. It's going to be better than the original band. It's not. That's just dumb.
Neil Peart starts a new band with 2 other people and calls it Rush.
It's not.
That would be the same. I mean, that would be the same thing. You can't do that. Peter Criss starts his own band with 3 other people, calls it Kiss.
If he called it Piss, I would go see it.
Well, it would be because he'd be involved in it. So,
well, you're the number one issue with this whole situation is it's just like Great White and Queensryche. You got 2 and LA Guns. You got 2 bands running around with the same damn name, claiming to be the best version of that band. And as long as that happens, there's going to be fighting. There's going to be stupid shit said in between the 2, And I seen Stephen Pearcy down here. I've talked about this before down here at Fast Eddie's years ago, and he had a backing band. To me, it was like seeing Rat because they played the songs. The songs sounded the same. The vocals were spot on because it was Stephen Pearcy. So basically, to me, that was Rat. You know what I'm saying? Now, Bobby Blotzer came down. If he came to Evansville and threw his guy up there that maybe sort of sounded like him, I would not think that was Rat. It would be, that would be like a band that has a member of Rat that's doing Rat cover tunes, basically,
I mean, that's how it is with Foreigner. Right. I mean, Foreigner, there is actually, if Mick Jones isn't playing, there is nobody in the band that's an original guy.
But the thing is, you don't have Mick Jones and them out playing in another band called Foreigner. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You don't have Lou Gramm didn't have a band called Foreigner out there trying to be Foreigner. No. Also, that's the thing that gets me is how these bands can they get mad at each other and then they break up and then they both have a band now filled with other people that they want to claim that they're the original band. That's stupid. Why don't you go? Bobby Blotzer, start a band called Mouse. Rodent. Something. But make it completely different. I mean, stand on your own. If you want to play Rat tunes, that's fine.
He'd probably have to go with Rodent because Disney probably has the word mouse patented or trademarked or something.
I'm sure of that.
But yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
That shit there. It's funny to keep. It's like a bunch of little kids in a playground. It's just funny to watch this shit from a distance. Read all this. 50.
Well,
60,
we had that conversation before about if certain members leave the band, who are those key members that can be replaced, and who are those ones that can't? And sometimes the lead singer can be replaced, and most of the time they can't. Right. I mean, it just doesn't work.
Depending on who you ask,
the
lead singer can never be replaced.
That's correct.
Personally, I like the Sammy Hagar version of Van Halen as much as I like the David Lee Roth version of Van Halen. David Lee Roth was replaced. They went in a different direction, but it was a direction that worked.
But there again, they went out. I mean, when Sammy Hagar came into Van Halen, they wrote all new material and toured heavy on the new material because they made it a new band itself. Bobby Blotzer's not out writing new Rat shit. He's out playing the Rat tunes that's been playing,
he said Rat shit.
Rat shit.
But you know what I'm saying? They're not out putting, new music out that's popular. When Sammy came into Van Halen, they wrote material that was popular. I mean, it was as big as the other material.
We can't hear you. We're laughing.
I know.
I can hear you.
One word, rat shit.
This is funny.
Anyway. But yeah, it's funny. I get a kick out of that. It's just a bunch of little babies whining and pissing and moaning. It's funny.
All right. Okay, so one of the other things we're going to do today was talk about some of our some of the venues that we've seen shows at, just to kind of give you an idea about kind of where we've been across the country or in Europe to see some shows. So, so what I did was I made a list of the places I've been, which I don't know that we want to go through a whole list because there's a few on here. But I'll just talk about a couple of them that I thought were really cool places to see a show.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we can kind of do, or places that, really mean a lot to you. If there's some kind of tie into that. So my first one, and this is going to be I would expect it for you guys too, is Robert Stadium in Evansville,
which doesn't exist anymore. It's a big
which doesn't
field.
exist anymore.
It's
When
terrible.
was it torn down? Has it been
Oh crap, Bill! It's been
5 or 6 years ago.
5 or 6 years ago?
more than that. I think it's
Yeah.
been down. I was living in. Well, I moved to Newburgh almost 10 years ago, and it wasn't too long after I moved out here that they started tearing it down.
Yeah.
So
Well, Robert Stadium for me was special because it was that's where I saw Kiss for the first time
Me too.
and saw about
guilty.
every other band you could think of through there for at one point. At one point, it seemed to be that Kiss was kind of a major market. Kiss was. Evansville was a kind of a major market. I mean, everybody seemed to go through there, which was pretty cool. I don't know that that's the case anymore. Definitely not the case anymore. I think for a lot of bands, but and
I think a lot of that has to do with
so
those major bands stopped coming through about when Aiken management sold out or quit or whatever happened with that.
Well, I mean, Kiss has never been to the Ford Center. I mean, they came here last in what, 02 or that Lost Cities.
2000.
Yeah. And and here to give you a thing of how Evansville was at one point, referring back to the Kiss tour book, up until March 6th of 2002, the 20 most frequently played venues by Kiss, Madison Square Garden is number one. Tying for that was Roberts Municipal Stadium with 13 shows.
Really?
So up until that point, Kiss played Robert Stadium tied with Madison Square Garden for every place in the United States.
Wow, that's cool.
So that tells you right there. I mean, they knew that place in and out.
Yeah, but that for me. So, and I always liked that was one of the venues too. You could go by and had a marquee. You could go by and see who was coming and who was going to be playing and stuff like that. I always kind of thought that was really cool. So
it was it was one of the old style, and we'll talk about this here later. The newer places that you go to, I always call them cookie cutter stadiums. These newer ones that come out like the Ford Center, you go to the Yum Center, you go to these other centers. They got like one designer, and they're kind of all the same to me. They're all basically the same. Robert Stadium, from the original, it was remade once. But, it was one of these old places that they had some sky boxes, the old style sky boxes, but not the new corporate suites that you see now. They were just some rooms that were up on top there. The first one, incarnation, before they expanded it that first time about 20 years ago, you had the old bleacher seating that would actually come in. They would fold those out. So you'd actually, if you were in the nosebleed section, you were in these big old wooden bleachers,
And you were like,
you felt
the roof.
The back
it wasn't very far away.
Remember, the backside of them were always open, and people kind of walk through there. Because that night that we went and seen Loverboy and Joan Jett, which was the biggest crowd that was ever in that place, they packed, I think it was 12,600 people. The place only held like 11,000, I think. They oversold that show. And I mean, there were people, you couldn't get another person in there with a shoehorn that night. I mean, it was that tight. I mean, it was just people. You went around the outside edge of the when you walked in that outer ring, it was wall to wall people. The aisles were wall to wall. Every seat in the place was filled. It was general admission at that point. The floor, was just open too. So you were down there. There was no chairs. So everybody's, in here like this. I mean, the place was, it was a great show. I mean, it was at Loverboy's. I mean, that was at their peak, and it was a huge show. But yeah, Roberts, I've seen probably 80% of my shows at Roberts, and I really hated to see that place get tore down. I mean, I had a lot of memories in that place.
I have only in Evansville. I have only seen one show at Mesker, and that was when Joe Cocker and the Guess Who came through in 2001.
Right.
That was the only concert I ever got to see at Mesker.
And there again,
all the rest of the shows here in town I saw at Robert Stadium, unless you count the Great White and Firehouse and all of those coming to the Oxygen up there on First Avenue.
Or the Coliseum downtown. Do you ever go to one down there at the Coliseum?
Never went to the Coliseum. I've never been in the Coliseum. I take that back. When I was a kid, my parents and my grandparents used to go watch wrestling
on Wednesday nights.
So we used to go down I forgot about that.
Many Wednesday nights.
Yeah, but that was in like 1976. So you may as well say I've never been to the Coliseum because I don't. The only thing I remember is meeting one of the wrestlers and he scared the shit out of me because he was so goddamn big.
Yeah, I've got some pictures somewhere that a friend of mine had, and I got copies of them. But the first time Kiss was in Evansville, they played at Coliseum.
Yeah, was that on New Year's
That was
Eve?
a New Year's Eve night.
Yeah.
I've got pictures of them on stage, and that was during the Hotter than Hell, our very first Kiss Hotter than Hell tour. Because I know Ace had his pointy, big arrow thing on. Well, Gene actually had the thing with the skull on the back side of his leather thing. Had the big white skull with the little horns on the thing. But yeah, getting to what we're talking about too, you were saying Mesker. Evansville has a really bad problem of having a good facility and then letting it rot, in which they did with Robert Stadium.
It's all about politics, though.
They wanted that new Ford Center, which we'll talk about that in a minute. But Mesker was another place that it is an open air amphitheater out there by the zoo on a hillside. I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's a great place for concerts. I mean, I've seen I've seen Kiss on the Hot in the Shade tour out there. I saw Iron Maiden's Power Slave tour.
Yep.
Seen Ozzy during it was when he was with Jakey Lee. I mean, just all kinds of concerts I've seen out there. Actually, I've seen the last concert they had out there was the Doobie Brothers. We went and seen that, and now they're talking about trying to salvage it. But the problem is they let it rot now for, I don't know, it's been closed down, 6 years now probably. And
Probably
they were having movies out there. Is that right?
Oh, they do like the Rocky Horror Picture Show and then every once in a while. But then they were doing like family movie nights out there and charging like $2 and stuff to get in. Of course,
rock shows outside like that are cool. I mean, it's neat
having be $16 million to get this thing going up. But then they're of course, because they got to pay for the corporate boxes. It's like, dudes, just put it back like it was.
Well, one of the reasons that it's going to be so expensive is because they've got to get it up to today's code.
Well, that's the stage area. Yeah, the stage, and I know that area is bad. I said that the dressing room area is bad, and the stage, and then like I said, all the works. Because, like I said, it wasn't a covered at all. It had basically a top that came down that had a small roof on it, but that's where the lighting rig came on it. And I'm sure that it was old. and with the legalities now after the incident up in Indy and other places that's happened, they would have to be major code.
It'd be cool to see it going, but some of those places have to have closed over time just because they just don't meet the demands of the bands anymore. I mean, they don't meet the electrical requirements or the power requirements
and they have to hold so much weight on their ceiling or
they've changed those video screens they're putting back there. It's not like you're putting a Kiss sign that's made out of aluminum with some light bulbs in it, right? You're putting a
ginormous TV screen,
that's weighs a little bit more. So that's there's some of that stuff that happens to them too, but that's unfortunate. Where else have you guys been that you really feel like it was kind of a cool place or special or had a special event at or whatever?
When I lived in Colorado Springs, I went to see Kiss. I saw Def Leppard there twice. It's Pepsi Arena now, I think, but then it was McNichols Arena.
Oh, yeah.
So I've seen a few concerts at McNichols. And I saw Poison, Slaughter, and the Bullet Boys at Red Rocks.
I'm going to ask if you went to Red Rocks.
I want to go there.
That was the only show that I ever saw at Red Rocks.
I'd like to see something out there.
I saw Cinderella and David Lee Roth at McNichols Arena, too. And that was awesome because David Lee Roth pretty well got booed the whole time he was performing. Cinderella tore it up.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd like to. Red Rocks is a place that I'd like to go to.
Yeah. Don't go in the winter.
No.
They don't do shows there in the winter, I'm sure.
It's called White Rocks at that point. Icy Rocks.
I'd love to go to a show there. I mean, I've seen I watched a couple of things on Access TV. I watched a Cheap Trick live at Red Rocks thing. It was pretty good. I watched it was a Journey thing, I think, from Red Rocks. It was pretty good. I mean, it looks like the venue would just be really, really cool.
Well, the first time I ever knew anything about it was the old U2. When they did that, was it Bloody Sunday, that video?
Right.
That was.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
cool
where in the
stuff.
hell is that? That looks cool. It looks like
Yeah,
they're on the moon.
yeah. So we'll have to go. I'll have to go check that out sometime.
I like like I said, if you're talking about good venues, like that, I like going to Clips. I think that's a great place. The old Deer Creek there in Indianapolis. I think that's a well designed, especially if when I've only been up there and got yard seats or lawn seats, whatever you want to call them. Um, and I think you can see well and you can hear well from any place in that venue. I
Right.
think it's now that we know how to get in the back entrance and park at that guy's little lot down the street,
Yeah,
that's the way to do it. That was easy in and easy out on that night.
yeah. We actually did that for Hall and Oates too. We parked there, but we had seats down in the pavilion.
Right.
So when we knew it was going to be the last couple of songs, we started kind of walking up the pavilion to where we could just get out.
Right.
Because that show was packed. There was a lot of people at Hall and Oates show. So we ended up that's what we ended up doing. So it's still good. You still get in the car and you just drive out. You don't have to mess with.
Right.
Lisa was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool," because we left. Didn't have to wait in line.
Now, have you been to the Yum Center in Louisville yet?
I've not been to the M Center.
Now,
Laura
my
and
question.
Ian have been to the Yum Center twice.
Now, it's kind of one of those cookie cutter two places, isn't it, or
Yeah.
not?
Well, my theory behind the cookie cutter places is they've got the formula down for
Right.
how many asses you can get in the seats.
Right.
For an arena this size is going to fill that many. It's there because the Ford Center looks just like every other, like a lot of other places.
It does exactly like Scott. We went to that Scott Trade, I think it is over in St. Louis, and it's a little bit bigger. I think the Yum Center is a little bit bigger than Ford. Ford Center is a little smaller than the other ones that I've been to, but Ford Center is not a bad place. I was curious to see how concerts are going to be there. I went in there with my nose kind of up a little bit the first time because I was like, Roberts, we love Roberts, But once we got the concert got started, it's not bad. I mean, it's actually got pretty good sound. Seats are pretty decent. But like I
Yeah,
said,
I don't think it was bad.
it's just like I said, that Scott Trade over there. We went to Memphis. I think what's a FedEx one down in Memphis, and that was for Foo Fighters at time, and it was Dave Grohl. Yeah. So anyway, but anyway, but that was another one of those. It was a fairly good size center too. It's about the size of Bridgestone down in Nashville. Like I said, and every one of those are they got good sound, and everything's designed pretty because they're newer designs. The reason I brought the Yum Center though, because we went to see Kiss over in Freedom Hall. Does Freedom Hall still have concerts over there since Yum came in, or is that pretty well now just basketball?
No, I think they still do. I haven't been to one for a while, but I know they do during the state fair, Kentucky State Fair,
Right.
because that's where the shows are. Well,
So is Freedom Hall bigger than the Yum Center, or is they about the same size, or how it is that? Because that's a fairly big place. I'd never been there except for that
well,
Kiss show.
I'm not. Where does the University of Louisville play? They still play at
They
Freedom
still
Hall.
play at Freedom Hall, yeah.
Then it's probably bigger than the M Center. Then,
Okay, but that's a big place,
yeah, it's pretty big.
and
Conseco in Indianapolis isn't bad. I mean, it's just big, and you can be pretty far away. If you're
depending
sitting on
on
the top
where,
of that place, man, you are way the hell up there.
and the sound is horrible up there.
It is up there.
I went and seen Van Halen on their return tour up there, and I got tickets. That's when they went on sale, like at 10. I got on there and got my tickets. Finally, got my tickets by about 10:10, and we were. I mean, dude, I thought I was gonna have to have an oxygen mask, and and I tell you what, it's steeper than hell up there too.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
scary steep. I mean, I'm like going. Oh, I'm glad I'm driving because I ain't drinking on this thing because I want to be rolling down these. I kept thinking, man, somebody's going to take a dive off one of these things because it is straight up and down.
Well, that's the way RCA was up in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was
Yeah, and actually, Lucas Oil is the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took Laura up there to see Melissa Etheridge back in '96 or '97, maybe '98. I don't remember, but yeah, those were really steep. There was some girl there that I thought she looked like Ziggy Stardust, and she was coked out something fierce. She was on something, and I told Laura 'cause she was walking down them steps, and I'm like, she's gonna fall, and sure enough, them feet come out from under her. Bam, 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 bam. She hit probably 6 steps before she finally got stopped. I felt so bad for her. But then I thought, well, she's so stoned she probably won't feel it till tomorrow.
Yeah, Hank Williams Jr. One time I saw a guy at Roberts Stadium miss the first step. Like, when you
Oh,
come, when he it looks like he'd been to the concession stand and he came and was going to go down the stairs and missed the first step and went all the way down to the bottom.
holy cow!
I mean, he hit. Oh my God, I don't know how
Did
that
he,
didn't
did he
hit.
spill his beer?
Nope.
Being a Hank fan, he probably went, whoop, 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 yeah, got it, yay!
Nope. Oh, it was amazing. Broke his arm in 4 places, but he didn't spill it.
We saw a girl take real quick. We'll get back to it, but we went to the Fox Theater over in I think it was the
Atlanta?
Fox. No, over in St. Louis. We went and seen Wicked uh, over there, but we were in the second tier up there, and it's pretty steep. And some Indian lady, she got down about 10 steps from the bottom. I mean, she rolled, and I thought she was going to go over the edge. Somebody grabbed her and I was like, well, we're going to see. Somebody
Wow.
tried to take a fly across there. But
All right, let's see.
yeah, we'll get back real quick too, though, to that where the Conseco. When we were up there, Van Halen come out, and their first song was Romeo's Delight. It took half a song before I realized what they were playing. That's how bad the sound was, because the sound was going from the stage and hitting the back of the roof back here, and then bouncing back, and then we were catching both sounds, and it got to the point after about 5 or 6 songs, Mike and I walked downstairs and basically just hovered around down until somebody walked. They always run you off if you're standing there too long. And then we finally went over to where the wheelchair people are over there, and we kind of snuck up and we kind of stood along the back wall back there for about, I don't know, about half the concert till somebody come up there and go, well, you guys you can't be in here. So they walked us out, but we finally we downstairs, it doesn't sound bad, but if you got nosebleeders, give up your tickets. They're terrible, and sound like.
Alan, what about you? I know you've been to some venues outside the States.
Well, I saw several club shows when I was in Germany. The biggest show that I saw was, don't ask me the name of the venue or the name of the town that it was in, because that was a long time ago. But I did see Alice Cooper, Great White, and Brittany Fox in a big arena in Germany. And the most memorable part about that, and I think I mentioned this in an early episode of this show, but it was get there and get down in front as quick as you can. And when the show was going real good, there was a big wave that come through, and somebody stepped on my foot, and I went down. And if I hadn't had the guy with me that drove, I probably would have died that night, because I went down, I couldn't get back up. He just happened to reach down and grab me and pull me up. So we went back up into the kind of the nosebleed seats. But otherwise, it was a great show, except for the almost dying part.
Yeah. Well. So that place I went to not long ago, last summer, was called the St. Augustine Amphitheater. It's not far from the beach. Well, not far from the St. Augustine. You have to go over this overpass to get to the beach, and it's not far from there. But it was an amphitheater, and I don't know, did it hold maybe 6,000 people, 6 or 7,000 people? Maybe a few more than that, but it was small and it was really cool. It was a neat place, and a little more intimate for an amphitheater than what you normally would see. And that place has a show all the time. I looked at the list this year. I think they had a show. They have a show probably 20 days out of the month in the summer.
That's
there was something it's all over the map. There's it doesn't matter. There's something going on there all the time.
That's cool.
And sold out shows and not sold out shows and bands that don't play anywhere else. And, it was weird. They had, trying to figure out who I saw something I was surprised they played a venue like that, but then it was like a stop on the tour. They were going up 95 and let's put this on the date and see what we can get some people to show up. But we saw Bryan Adams there last summer, and it was phenomenal. So I would definitely go there. My sister lives about maybe 5 or 6 miles from it.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm glad I don't live here.
Right.
I'd be going all the time. He wouldn't be able to get me out of there. Where's Bill? He's at the usual place.
I tell you, the smaller ones you're talking about, I like the Murat up there in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
I like that place. That's a nice venue. I don't know how much is that.
Is that the Egyptian Room? Is that where you went?
No, we was upstairs. We were actually in the in the theater part.
Yeah, there's three. That's the Egyptian room.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's the one in the basement? What's that called?
Well, the basement's called the deluxe room.
Right?
Um,
That's weird. You would think that the other one was the deluxe.
but and trust me, dude, that place is.
You talked about that before. Where that band was really bad down there.
That place is horrible.
But the upstairs of that place is nice. Like I said, we went and seen whatchamadoodle, Amos Lee there.
Whatchamadoodle. Had to get one of those in.
I'm going to see, but I really like the smaller venues. I mean, like that, and you've got what here? The Victories is a nice place to see stuff. I like the smaller venues like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and there's actually three rooms at there. There's the deluxe room, which is in the basement, which I've been to, which is very low ceiling and very spread out. So it's not like a long room; it's a spread out room this way, which is weird. And if you're up close, you can't hear anything because for it to get in the back of the room with the ceiling as low as it is, it all sounds like it's just this big mess. And when you get in the back of the venue, you can actually hear exactly what's going on.
As a sound guy, I hate rooms like that.
Oh, it's just got to be horrible. Well, and the problem is, so me and a buddy go back. We're standing back in the back by the sound guy, which is almost in the very back of the room. And I look, he's got everything pegged. The board is pegged almost. I'm like, have you ever done this before?
Probably not.
So I thought that was a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, well, depending on the layout of the room, sometimes you've got to get it pegged like that so that you can get the levels above. Like, for example, I do sound for small bands. There was a place that one of the bands I do played a couple of weeks ago that you walk in the room, then immediately you look up and you see a metal roof. And you just know it's going to be a loud night because you've got to turn everything up loud enough to get over the cymbals. Because no matter how lightly you hit those cymbals, it echoes off of that ceiling, and it's like thunder crashing. It's just horrible. Horrible.
Horrible. Are there any places that you guys know of that you haven't been to that you want to go?
Well, Red Rocks would be mine.
Or Red Rocks? Anyplace else? I want to see a show at the Ryman.
Oh, I have seen a show at the Ryman.
I would like to see a show at that place in London, the O2.
Wembley, you mean?
No,
it's a small venue. It's the one that Led Zeppelin did their thing at.
Oh, yeah.
A few years back. I think that's the O2.
Right.
But places like the venues like that around the world that are smaller. Budokan, I'd like to see a show at Budokan. Right. You know, of course, I'd like to see a show at Budokan back in 1977 or 1978.
Yeah. When there were certain bands playing there that would be really cool to see.
I wouldn't mind going to Madison Square Garden just to say that I went there.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree
just
with that.
to say, hey, I went there.
I'm going to California next summer for the conference thing I was at this year, and we're spending some. It's in Anaheim, so we're going to be spending some extra time out there. So I plan on hitting a show at the Whiskey or the Rainbow or one of those.
Oh yeah, any of the
Troubadour
any of those places.
Playing, I'm just going in.
Any of those places would be awesome.
Hopefully there'll be some kind of cool thing going on, but if not, I don't care.
You said something about going to the Ryman. Like I said, we went and seen the Vince Gill show down there for Christmas. Great sound in that place. Awesome sound. The seating is horrible because it is an old church. So you're sitting in a church pew, and you know how tall I am. I had to kind of sit sideways all night because my knees won't fit in that slot. And we were sitting, and they actually have the little arms, so you're sitting 4 people per little slot. You know, there's no seat. It's a pew. Right. And I mean, it's tight, but the sound's really good in there though. It's a cool place to go. I mean, I wouldn't go there a lot, but it's kind of cool. Nashville's also got another place called the Civic Center. It's a big round building. Have you ever been in that one? It's really odd shaped. You know, like I say, it's a big round deal. But I saw actually the first time I seen Foo Fighters was in that building. It's
in Nashville.
In Nashville.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's down there by the
that one place.
Well, it's kind of down around.
It must be down there by the Capitol, doesn't it?
The Parthenon. You know where the Yeah, it's down there.
Yeah.
It's down along. It's because it's on the hill. If you go down the bottom of the hill and kind of come around, there's a big round building down there, and that's the Civic Center.
Oh, I wonder if it's still. I didn't know if
seen
it was
Iron
still there or
Maiden
not.
back there years ago during the Number of the Beast tour. They went down there and saw some shit, so it was pretty cool. Anyway,
all right.
That's about it for me.
Club shows are always good too, but you got to be in the right club for that to be pretty good.
Yep.
So, all right, fellas. So we had another topic, and we're pretty close to time, so we may just push that off to another show. How's that sound?
We will definitely push that off to another show. I'll try to see. My friend Chuck is the one that came up with the idea for the other show.
I got to do a little research for that too.
I'll try to see if I can get him on the show too, because he's got a lot of good ideas about that one.
That'd be good.
He's as perverted minded as the rest of us are. So.
What could that topic be? Let's see.
I don't know.
I will be real quick. I'm going to be going to
Dennis's email.
Yeah, the P word. I will be going to a show this Monday, so I'll have a report for you next week. Going to be seeing, let's see, I'm going to be seeing REO, Tesla, and Def Leppard at the Ford Center on Monday night. I'm still trying to figure out logistics for the fact of when Signs is started to play for the Tesla section. I'm going to think
Dennis's P-break song.
I think I'm bringing earplugs, and I'm going to cram them in my ears as fast as possible. Then I'm running to the bathroom. And I might take a dump. I'm gonna just save a dump up for that.
Look, if you don't like that song, the rest of Tesla's show was really, really good though. When I saw them last summer,
right?
They were actually.
Oh, I love Tesla.
They were actually the best band on the bill.
Yeah, well, they're damn good, and I mean, I love their songs. I like all their songs.
It was Tesla, Styx, and Def Leppard, and Def Leppard did the exact same set they did when they did the Kiss co-headlining tour.
I'm trying not to look at the set list because I'm curious to see what they're going to play, but I haven't looked it up yet. But I don't really want to know. I'm going to try. But I want to look at it. But, and then of course REO. I love REO Speedwagon. I mean, I'll be singing top of my lungs the whole time. Kelly hates that, but
yeah,
next concert, week that's what you're supposed to.
I love REO.
It's not like everybody else isn't acting like an idiot too.
That's right. Have fun or go home.
And the good thing is I won't have to hear that word from them guys. Here's something from our new album.
Oh, yes, you do. From who?
Oh, they've got a new album out?
From who? REO Speedwagon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, crap.
They played when they played here in Columbus 2 summers ago and played 3 songs off a new album, and I was like, why on God's earth would you do that? It was
you got 8 hours of material.
They played like 3 80 songs right in a row, had everybody up and running, and Kevin Cronin
threw on the brakes, threw the anchor out.
A couple songs off a new album, and I was like, yawn, and you could hear it was crickets. It was an amphitheater here, and it was totally crickets.
And it was real crickets.
You can hear the fish breathing. It was that bad.
You know what happens at that point? You hear all the maintenance guys and the bathroom workers. They get on the radio and go, "There's a code red. We need to get everybody."
It's cold brown, Dennis. Cold brown.
Cold brown. Bring the extra toilet paper and bring cleaning supplies. We're gonna have a mad rush to the toilet.
It was not pretty. So we have a couple shows come up here in Columbus. We have they have a thing called Rock the Park every year. They used to have a country in the park, and they combined them because they were kind of cheating. And we've had some really good. We had 38 Special here one year. It was really, really good show. We had trying to think of who else we saw last one year.
Grand Funk, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, that was a different show that's on Labor Day weekend. But this year it's Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Hell yeah!
Which will be not happening. I am not going to that.
Oh, come on, Bill. I'll even come up for that. We'll go sit it.
You can come up for that.
Get down tonight.
Ages of Rock goes disco.
Get Casey's
I just don't like. Anyway,
I like disco.
I do too.
There's a good chance I'll get roped into going, but it won't be by my own wants, needs, or desires. And then
she'll be like, "Do you remember when I had to go to Cincinnati with you and I had to sit on the ground, you son of a bitch?"
Sweat and uncomfortable.
Drive your monkey asses around. And then Labor Day weekend is Peter Cetera.
Oh, that'd be good.
So usually those are pretty good.
Oh,
like
man,
last year,
Well, I'm not going to say I wish I wasn't going to Florida because I'm happy I'm going to Florida.
Yeah.
But I would go see Peter Cetera.
Yeah, we're definitely going to that.
So
and
is
that's
this one
a
of
free
those?
show.
I'm saying these are those free shows.
Yeah, that's a free show. That one's a free show. It's
When
a
is the
fundraiser
Peter
for
Cetera?
hospice.
When is the one for
It's
Peter
Labor Day
Cetera?
weekend. It's Saturday. It's the Saturday night.
God damn, I gotta play.
I knew you did because it's Labor Day.
I gotta
Labor
play
Day.
a private party. That sucks. And I do have, like I said, I got Amos Lee tickets coming up. Gonna go see him again. That'd be the third time seeing him. And then we actually got tickets for Straight No Chaser. Have you seen those guys before?
Oh no, but I want to go see them for Christmas.
They're coming around again. They come every year, and it's
Yeah.
December 18th, I believe. It's a Sunday night. They're at Center. I got tickets for that. The other day, got three. Me and Kelly and Max are gonna go. It's a good show. I mean, if it's a cappella, but these guys, this is their 20th anniversary tour too. But they're really good. They do some. They did Creep last time, which I thought was really cool, and an acapella deal. I was like,
That's cool.
That is really cool.
So, all right. I think that's it for the show this week.
Cool.
We'll wind her down.
That was
all right?
it like 10 minutes ago.
That was it 10 minutes ago. Yeah, we always got to like diverse a little bit. So,
yeah.
Thanks for watching, and make sure you tell your friends and your friends' friends and any other friends you can think of. Even people tell the people you hate the most. Maybe that'll get us some views too. So there you go.
You need to watch the 3 most intelligent men ever.
See 3 dudes that know absolutely nothing. Whatever. All right. We're out of here and we'll see you next week.
Peace.